So today we're talking about traits, which is the last part of our OOP concepts. This is actually very, very interesting aspects and very, very popular, and many people know about traits. I don't know if other languages have traits, shall, but PHP has traits. So a trait is a PHP construct that lets you reuse the same code in different classes. Let me write this extra one. PHP only supports, when I say, okay, in short, let me just come to the type. I go explain this thing better. Single inheritance. A child class can inherit only from one single parent. Can you imagine? Let me do it again. So, let me cancel am because of wetin you talk. So, what if, yes, inherits multiple behaviors perpetuates solves this problem. Trait can have method access is multiple tasks and methods can have access. Traits are used to declare methods that can be used in multiple classes. Traits can have methods and abstract methods that can be used in multiple classes, and the methods can have any access modifier as public, private, or protected. Traits are declared using traits are declared with the trait keyword, and to use a trait in a class we use the use keyword. Traits have some similarities to interfaces that they are also similar to inclusive that contains global functions, but traits have also important differences and make them unique. So, in a nutshell, a trait is a structure that prevents code duplication in classes. They are also similar to include scripts that contain global functions. Okay, let me stop here for this English. I don't write since. Na my board be this, as we dey secondary school class, and some dey write for board. Okay, now from this English, let me share with English, and I will explain the English. Then we will see an example of the English. A trait now, even just like when we talked about inheritance, so I talk even from the word inheritance, you understood what that inheritance means when you are inheriting something from something. Now, when you talk about traits, even the sound, I like the way they picked a good name to relate to a concept. When you are talking about traits, that means you are talking about something a character that is aligned to maybe different people. Yeah, you can see the traits between in their families. You can see the traits between Ade and anybody, the twins, like they have the same traits, they have the same attitude or something. So that means both of them collect them in a way from somebody. So it's just almost like inheritance in a way from the term wey they use for this concept. So a trait is a PHP construct that lets you reuse the same code in different classes. So let's say we have one trait. So different classes can use that trait. Okay, so that's one idea. Then in PHP inheritance, so they do one thing about that inheritance thing, so we been dey do that time. A child class no fit only like the child class or subclass only fit inherit a single parent class, no fit inherit multiple parents class. Wetin I mean by that is, let's say we go look for example. So for example now, um class animal, class dog, expense animal. This class dog can only inherit a single parent class. And if you come here, let's say I have another class here now called maybe very cool, anything very cool kind of class. So this dog class now it can only inherit a single parent class. And if you come here, write extends animal, and okay, also it also inherits from very cool mbano, you can see error. So any child class always, in terms of inheritance particularly, to always inherit only one parent class. So if imagine parent now where the parent na just the parent na husband, because surely na two people make up a parent, husband and wife. So what let me say, so son, which is like the pikin, so that means probably he inherit only from the husband, only from the daddy, from the father. On the norms, in terms of real life, you can inherit from both parents. Maybe if you look like the mama, but the character be like the papa or whatever. So this is where traits come from, whereby you can you can use a subclass, like you can get the traits of several features of both even husband and wife, like some kind of way. So that's where the advantage of these traits come from. Now the limitation of this inheritance be this, whereby they only limited to inheriting a single class. There are times probably you need some function wey dey here and some methods wey fit dey inside this class and another method wey dey inside this class, and you need both of them inside this son class. There's no way you can get both of them because you can only inherit a single one of them. So traits comes here to solve that solution. I think this explanation alone don already explain a lot of things here. So what if a class needs to inherit multiple behaviors? That's what I'm saying. So traits solve that problem. Traits are used to declare methods that can be used in multiple classes. I don't talk about traits can have methods and abstract methods that can be used in, we will get there. Traits are declared so with trait keyword, and when we want to use it, we use the use keyword. So if I want to create a trait class, I want to use this trait keyword. And if I want to now make use of that trait in another class, I'll make use of the use keyword. So we'll get to see how it is. So in a nutshell, a trait is a structure that prevents code duplications in classes. They are also similar to like including a script. So when you talk about code duplications, because surely if, for example, now we have a function here and public function, okay, the name of the function brackets. So if we have a function here and we have another function here, now this inheritance now, let's say traits no exist at all. and then I know say I need these two function these two methods wey dey inside these two classes. I know say I need them, but then I dey limited because inheritance go only accept only one of them, one of the class. So let's say okay, I only take the husband. So that means I get access to this function wey dey for the husband inside here automatically. I already get the access. But since I don't get the access to this wife, I go have to manually come here and add am join so that I will fit get the function. So now you don't bring duplication. That means we don't get these two functions for two places, which shouldn't be so. Now think the aspect of this code duplication. So in a nutshell, a trace structure prevents code duplications. So no need to dey duplicate this code. So we have to find another way to fetch them easily. You know, say as this code dey like this, you already get this man function because we already extend the husband. So automatically it dey inside this son. I fit access this function inside this son. But you no get the woman, so I have to manually come dey code this one back, make it fit get the woman own as well. So now let's see some example of this. So the very first startup example, basic example. So let's say I want to create a tweet as usual. To create a tweet, you use the tweet keyword. To use the tweet, you use the use keyword. Now I see this one, if now we pay attention well to this one, now we fit easily relate to this one. This one dey very simple. At least I remember saying in our relate well with that inheritance, in our relate well with that interfaces. I believe now we relate well with this traits. Then the other ones now the one we see now we fit really go back to really watch through and try to get. Okay, so a quick example of this one now. Traits, let's say I create a, by the way, this trait is just like a class. So, but I'm using the keyword trait to make it have that feature of what trait is all about. So I create a trait called say greeting. So let me just put some properties. And let me add a function as well. Say hello function. Inside this function, echo hello now I want to access this name like Alex or something or whatever value I already put for here. But as usual, whenever you are in a class, you can't just call this thing like this. You have to use the this keyword. So this arrow sign, that's when it would work properly. So this is just so now only you know you see my screen. But that na your own network. Oh. Let me stop again. Are you seeing it now?
Continue. It's maybe my network. I don't see it.
It's your network then. I'm quickly log out and join back. She don't come out. Also, I have to wait for him small. So I've created this tweet. Now let me create a class. So this trait is still like a class. Just be say I no use the word class because if I use class, it no give me the feature where I need of traits. So that's why we're doing some of these things this way. So, but if you notice where this is exactly the way we used to write stuff inside of a class, private like properties and also methods. Now I want to create a class which is just a simple class itself. So I can just name this one my class. Now inside this class now, I will want to make use of this trait that I just created. So I want to make use of this trait that I just created. How will I do it? From the text I wrote here, use the use keyword when trying to use a trait. So I will just come here and write use, then the name of that trait. say greeting. You can say I even type say greeting finish. VS Code already knows nothing I want put be that. I just click on so say greeting. So automatically now this my new class gets everything wey dey here as well. Just dey like inheritance, just like using another form of inheritance using traits. So this new my class, I don't use this use keyword as if I don't import this whole trait stuff inside of this class. So now I fit access this say hello. So let's test it. For me to access this, I will have to instantiate this class. So I can just say, okay, let's say this is an object that is instantiating my class. So for me to access the say hello, I will use from the object arrow sign, the name of the function say hello. This alone should print for me, hello, I'm Alex. So if I check it now, php index.php, you can see hello, I'm Alex. That's what it's printing, and it's coming from this method, this tweet here. So we just imported it. So you know, if it's inheritance, we will say extend the name of class. But this one we're using tweets. For tweets, we make use of use then call the name of that class. Always don't forget that our class name is always capital letter. You can say the C S is in capital letter, the G is in capital letter, the mine M is capital letter, C for class is capital letter. And so they take the name classes. So what can tweets contain? What can tweets contain? It can contain every what can tweets contain? PHP tweets can contain many of the elements of a PHP class, including methods and properties with visibility operators. Like when I say visibility operator, access modifiers, all these public, private, protected. So visibility operators, I'll just add it. Access modifiers, static methods and properties, class operators such as parents, self, and this. Okay, so let's see another tweet example. Let me just erase this. So let's still make use of this say greeting tweet. So I'm just create some properties info, another property language, another property name, my name, whatever. Well, that one we are setting a value for it straight up. Then maybe one more property, public static. So now it's a static property. Count, assign it as 0. So what I just doing now, we're just showing you that this is possible to be used inside the tweet. Public, private, protected, even static property is everything we normally class they get if you get them too. Then public function, let's create a method inside the say greeting. So I'll just maybe say hello function or method rather. No one they use that word function. So echo hello this name. Like this, let me change this thing to a real name. So echo hello Lexis. Then let me just create another method again. Let's say private method say goodbye, echo goodbye. Last, let me create another last method, private, or let's say public static function parent count. So echo class count. Dot self count. Okay, let me open this one in something like this so you can see both of them. No, what am I doing? Let me do it like continuation. So we have this one we are seeing here. Let me do so like this is the continuation of what we are doing. It's still the same page or index.page in it. So I just want to put it this way. So we have a new tweet now. This tweet is still the same name, say greeting. It has all these properties. Then it has three methods: say hello, say goodbye, print count. For this print count, this will echo class counts. Then to echo to print out, to add or concatenate. This dot is like concatenation. So to print class count space the count. So currently the count is started as 0. So if I'm to just access it directly, to be class counts 0 that will come out. This one is goodbye that will come out. This one hello Lexis that will come out. So let's see how we can do this. Now I want to create a new class that would access the tweet. So class now class my class. So I want it to make use of the tweet say greeting. So since this is a new class and this class is using the tweet of say greeting, that means my class now have access to all of these things here. So let me see if I can access all of these things here through this name, my class. Okay, let me just create an object for objects, new my class. So let's see if I can access indeed all these things. So the first one, say hello as usual. So obj say hello. This should run for us hello Lexis. That is the output for that one. Now let's go to this next one. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye is a private function. If you remember the rule about private method, you can't extend it. So you can't extend, like just like inheritance now. If you have that inheritance, if you have anything like a private method, it will only be within that class. So we will they do here, we won't use this class. I say will they kind of inherit them indirectly. It won't work. So if I come here and do obj say goodbye, nouns will be hoping to see goodbye because that's what it is echoing out. But we won't see goodbye. You can see even VS Code on the show this stuff. There you go. Say goodbye. This thing is a private function, so it won't work. It will show an error. This will show fatal error in our PHP code. For this first one, it will run. Probably let's test this thing. So let me just run this. Okay, let me see. So the first one was successful. Hello, I'm Lexis, which is expected. While the second one can say PHP fatal error. Call to private method from global scope as a private, fatal error, uncut error, cut to private method from global scope. So we can't inherit private method into another different class. It won't work. Then when the last one, print counts. So this print counts file will do obj. Since it is public, it can be accessed. Even protected too can be accessed, but anything private cannot be accessed when it is extended. So this one will give us class count 0, which is expected. Class count 0 because we have initiate this count as 0. So to print class count then 0. We can even increase the counts. Like we can increase the counting here. So how can we do that? I can just come here and write, I'll come my class, like we can set the count to something different. So let's say I want to set the count to like 5. Initially we set it to 0, but notice because it is static, whenever you want to access stuff like a static, you use this what do they call this thing again? Colon, this double colon. So double colon, and then as you call the name of the class, then the double colon, the name of the properties, then set them as whatever you want to set them. Now if you want to come print this value, in short, I'm never supposed to print this value in this way, because this is a static method. I'm not supposed to use this arrow sign at all. So what I'm supposed to even be using is this. I'm even surprised how it even worked the first time. So this is what I should be using. Anything we involve static method or call it static, they use this double colon. So let's try and see what the output will be now. You can see now. So Lexis counts 5. So it worked. We increase the count. So, but anyways, the goal here, the goal of this particular example is to show you that the normal things we used to do in our normal classes, you can do it inside that trait. You can use the private method, you can use the protected road too. It can be accessed, it can be inherited. So the class can take it to work. Wait, something uncut print counts. Wait, let me change this thing again back to public. Okay, no error. Let me change it to protected. Error came in here. That means since there's one more rule in terms of this particular one, let me see if I can see this, get access to this. Protected. Okay. I don't even get this. Funny enough, I don't get this off my jotter. So I just experimented something now. On the norms now, if we were to be using normal inheritance, we should be able to access this stuff. But it seems for traits, even protected cannot be dragged out. So that means as it stands now, the summary is that only public. That means if you want to create a trait, just make sure say all of them are public methods. Like they just have to be public. No protected, no private, because you can't access them in another class. That's the summary. I even need to write it somewhere in my jotter. I hope I remember after this class. So that's the experiment I just realized right now in this class. I'm coming. Let me snap. Okay, so let's go on. So in this English, in this other part now, we also wrote somewhere that, where is it? Traits can have method and abstract methods. Remember we talked about abstract class before yesterday. So you can have something like abstract method, even something like abstract method also works like implements like interfaces in a way. So let's see how to make use of this one. Now let's see another quick example. Let me close this one. Start afresh. index.php, index.php, tweets, say greeting. Okay, so let's see this example. I can also add abstract methods, and I think the thing they tell me, so traits also accept abstract method, and to write abstract method we use the keyword abstract, then that method, so public function, then the method that you want. So let's just say hello method. So this is an abstract method, and that abstract method, the rule then is that any class that is making use of it, that wants to inherit from this class, must that class must have this abstract method, otherwise that class never completes. I think that's what we did that day for yesterday. So if we have, let's say I create a new class now, class called my class, then I inherit, like I make use of that trait. So say greeting. Even as just as I don't make use of that trait, you can see it don't show me that underlying red sign. So my class does not implement say hello. So that means it's telling me that I need to make use of say hello for this thing, for this class to complete, because this abstract um, method don't mandate them. So that means I have to come to this inherit this my subclass and create that function. So the public function say hello, then I can put whatever stuff I want to say hello to do for me. So everything is now fine. So that's just the rule. So traits can also accept abstract method, and the abstract method, what it means is just like putting a fixed method whereby anything we inherit this class must implement that method inside that subclass, unless the class not go work. So every class we inherit this trait must have hello method inside of them. So that's the rule. So yeah, so if I decide that I want to then everything is very simple. So if I say I have an object new my class, I can access the say hello as the object say hello. So this will output for me hello, which is the echo. Okay, so that's just basically it's about what that statement is saying. Yeah, so traits can have normal method which we have what we have been seeing since, and also we can have abstract method. What else? Okay, now traits can also use other traits. Now even traits fit use other traits of its own kind of traits too again. So traits can use other traits. In this case, all the code from the used traits is included into the traits and then into the classes that use the traits. Very good. For example, when I say traits can use other traits, let's say for example Chinazol you be a trait, and you be trait and your mother na also another trait. So you now you make use of your mama trait character or whatever, then your pikin come make use of you your own traits, and for since your pikin make use of your own traits and you get that trait from your mama, so you just say your pikin make use of both your trait and your mama traits indirectly. So na the wetin dis English dey talk about be that. So traits can also use other traits. In that case, all the codes from the used traits from your mother traits, once it is included inside you your own traits, then a class your child can inherit that your own trait, which means you get both your own and your mama trait since your own come from your mama trait. So something like that. So let's see an example of how I can explain this in code. Okay, so we have, let me get rid of this. traits, say hello. So let's create a new trait. I'll just call this one like say hello trait. And inside this trait, it has a method say hello. So echo hello, something simple. Now let's create another trait. Just copy this. So another trait, say goodbye. Echo out goodbye. Let's say that's a method. So the method, let's say goodbye. So now we have two traits now like this, two different traits. Okay, let's do it this way. I want an example that is relatable. Grandma, grandpa. So we have grandma, we have grandpa. These two, they're the parents of this particular new traits why they create now. So no verse, Chinazo. Now Chinazo inherits. The reason they use grandma, grandpa, because now wetin your pikin go dey call you. Okay. So the reason your so the grandma, grandpa for Chinazo na her parents. I understand say on the norms you no suppose to call your parents grandma, papa, grandpa, but na your pikin go dey call them grandma, papa. But let me just use it this way for this example. So Chinazo now na the pikin of the parents wey her own pikin dey call grandpa, grandma, and so Chinazo possess the feature of her own parents. So that means Chinazo is using grandpa trait. E get grandpa trait inside of her. At the same time, e get grandma trait inside of am. So now Chinazo don kind of like dey make use of two traits now. So this trait dey do something, this trait dey do another thing. Chinazo dey use both of them. Now I fit just come here now. I don't know the name of your pikin sha. I just name am John, which is the pikin now, pikin of Chinazo. So John come inherit Chinazo traits, like make use of Chinazo. You know the Chinazo too na still trait o. This one na grandpa trait, this one na grandma trait, this one na Chinazo trait, and Chinazo trait come from her parents. Then Chinazo pikin John come dey get Chinazo own traits. So that means this John fit access everything wey Chinazo get. And since and now what's the question is wetin be the everything wey Chinazo get? Looking at this simple code, Chinazo get grandpa and the grandma. That means Chinazo fit get this say hello and Chinazo fit get this say goodbye. And since John get access to Chinazo, that means John too fit access the say hello and the say goodbye methods. Now just a very straightforward example be this. So let's test it and see if indeed you can access it. So let me break the code like this and so we can continue below here. So now let's see if John can access this grandma and grandpa trait indirectly. So if we have an object here, new John. So now let's access the say hello and see if it will work. Obj say hello. Even VS Code already dey predict am for me. Obj say goodbye. You can see we have hello and we have goodbye. So it is working. This one is printing out hello, this one is printing out goodbye. So John can access everything. So in some way, indeed, the concept is true. Traits can also use other traits. So this is an example of everything where we don't talk so far. So what else? What else? What else? When you use a trait in your class, the class gets the method from the traits. You can override the method by defining it again in the class. In this case, the class has precedence. Okay, so we can override a method. Let's say, for example, now this one is say goodbye, and probably this grandpa part, your own method here na say goodbye, and probably you no wan make e echo say goodbye. So if you come here, put the method back here and say maybe something else is say goodbye John, and that means wetin go come out for here na say goodbye John. So the point be say you don override the value of wetin dis say goodbye dey do, like you don update. You no go take this one, na the latest one you go take. So to check this output, you can see say goodbye John, you no take the first one anymore, so you don override that first one. I think let me write that statement as well here. When you use a trait in your class, the class gets the methods from the trait. You can override a trait method by defining it again, which is what we did in the class. In this case, the class own method has precedence over the trait method. Okay, that's it. I need to put any of this stuff here. So the class own method, which is this, it have precedence over this one. Remember when you talk about precedence, for example, if you talk about board mass, you have to first start with brackets. The bracket get precedence over the next one, which is off. Then you have to do division first. The division dey more important before you go to the multiplication. That's what I mean by precedence. So you go first check for those things before you go check this last one, which is subtraction. So the other ones dey above the former ones. They are the later ones, I mean. So this one, the method we are calling inside the class here, take precedence over this initial one. So it will override it and take this updated one. Now there's also another new rule now also. But if your class extends a base class, when you talk, as I don't use that word extends, you don't see I don't talk about inheritance now. But if your class extends a base class, the method from the traits have precedence over the methods of the base class with the same name. You can, however, access the base class method by using the parent operator. I will explain. Now I have another new talk of concepts wey fit happen. So, but if your class extends a base class, the method from the traits have precedence over the method of that base class. So peradventure, let's say we have a normal class that was inherited. So the normal class come get inherited class, and that inherited class go now come get traits. Remember, they talk about a normal class, like we no get nothing important, just normal simple class. Then you can't get subclass or a child class where you inherit them. So let's say class Alex extends Chinazo. Cool. So now that class Alex now like a child class. But that child class, only the child class on its own can't still inherit a trait. You can't get under use something. That means you don't inherit one trait. So if, for example, that trait you inherit, there's a method inside that trait, and that method also exist inside that class wey e bin inherit too. So that means you don get two clash of the same name of method. So wetin dey talk be say e go take the trait own method, you go ignore that parent class method. So now let's see what I'm trying to say now using code. Let me just get rid of all of this. I love these traits, na very sweet concept. Okay. So let's say we create a trait called say hello, which is a trait. Let's just say a trait. So public function say hello. So you get one method. So you get one method now. And what the method should do, let it just execute hello for us. So now we've created one trait. Now I want to create a normal class. So we have a class now. I'll call it base. Let's call it parent class. And this word base, extend a base class, it also mean parents. So extend a base class, but it's not say if you must use the word parent or the word base, or it can be Alex, so it can be like anything. Anything is parenting as much as it is inherited. So as this class be like this now, what I call class parents class, is still not a parents class as it stands like this. Now normal class, not the parents class it be. The only time, the only thing go make am dey parents class now if I come here now, create maybe one class, I can't say extend parent class. Na that time wey e don become parent class, but as it stands there, na normal class e be. So now like na now wey e don become parent class. Wetin be this ones now? So now wey e don become parent class, but as e dey like this, na normal class e dey. So no dey pay at ten tion to this name. I just use these names for example purpose. So now this is a class which I know I'm going to make a parent class. So no wahala, I just say it's a parent class now. So this is a class, and this parent class has the same. It's unfortunate that it has the same method wey dey inside these traits. Mind you, these two things na two different things entirely. Like just this one, I fit be say e dey another code. Let's say e dey inside test.php. Like e no get business with this parent class. E just dey on its own. This one too just dey on its own. E no get business with traits at all. E just dey on its own. That kind of thing. But it's unfortunate say inside those two things, both of them can't get the same method name. Say hello, say hello. So probably let's change this one to the output. So say hello from the parents class. So unfortunately, they get the same method. So no wahala. Then you can't get one class where you can't go create one time ago. And that class where you can't create, them just name it. Let me name it child class. So you create this class and you say make this class extend the parents class. So now this one don't turn to a child class or a subclass. Now this class now is officially a parent class because it has been extended. So that means inside this child class, I can access this say hello. If I come here now, do obj with an instance of that class, new child class, obj say hello. So this will print out for me hello from the parents class. Now what we go expect from this code, because these two they relate to themselves. So we have child class wey extend parent class, and e access, I call the name of set the object, instantiate the class with an object, and access the same method wey dey inside the parent. So it will surely print out this one. We never implement this one at all, this trait at all. But now, if I venture as I dey code for this my child class, I come realize say let's say I go need something wey dey inside this trait to how I go take do am, even though I know say I don inherit this parent, but if I say this trait, I go need something. If I can't come here, come type, so I won't use this trait, I won't use the say hello trait. Now I don't implement use the say hello trait inside the same child class, and I still want access the same say hello. So the point now be say, now this one own dey precedence. You go take the trait of this one. You no go take this hello. So the output now go change. Instead of this one, now this one will come out for this part. So now the concept where that the explanation wey I dey try give you be that. So the trait state has more precedence than the base class when the two methods are the same in those places. So when we have the same method there, the same method there, then get one class where you inherit and can still inherit the trait as well. It will take the trait's own feature, even though you get the same name. So now this one where the VS where PHP go pick as the latest one. But now it still doesn't mean you can't find a way to access this one. Now there's a way to access this one by force. Let's say you want like really access this one by force. So how can you access it by force? You can just come here and create a new method here called let me I know probably you can just come here and do it like let's say you come here and say probably I'll just write it manually here myself and probably just change it to something else like then easily I can just create a new output here and access the hello how many O self. You shall get the gist like so now automatically like this I don't access this thing back just that yes I kind of duplicate it in a way the code because I have to copy this and put it here by force. So I have to change the name to something different. Then I can access it. So this is like one way to get to do that, but there's another way to do it without necessarily that it won't really look like a duplicated code. So instead of putting the same text of hello or echo hello blah blah blah, you can just come here and write parents dash colon colon. You can see even VS Code don dey write am say you don't know say na say hello I wan put say hello. So this parent keyword and this dot dot e go take the e go focus on the inheritance the extend. So e go enter inside this parent here come take that method this is that say hello which is now is echoing this. So this is still the same output. So this say hello wey we create now go still get the same output as this just that this time around we no duplicate this echo code, we use something different parent. So that's where this statement is coming from. You can however access the base class or parent class using the parent operator. So base class or parent class. So I like as I dey use the English, I dey show you the practical of the English and everything dey relate well with the English. No be say we just dey try to wan blow grammar in ten tionally with nothing to show for it. Hey, okay. Come I say even this trait sef come long sef because I still get another more thing to talk now. So traits again and that like traits get many special all these things wey we dey do na special features wey others no get. So na wetin make this trait sweet. So trait support or let me just say PHP traits. I'm not even sure if this trait dey other languages probably they will get their own maybe na another name but we call am trait for PHP. So PHP traits support something called aliasing. We don't do like okay let me just write first. Support aliasing. So when you use a trait in a class you can alias as traits method to change its name and usability and usability. This is done by using the as keyword. This is done by using the as keyword. I'm looking for an example to show you this thing now. Okay, so my class use okay, I've seen a good example. Say hello, really? Okay, so PHP trait supports aliasing when we, by the way, what is alias? For example, now let's say I have, um, just like in MySQL, we did alias in MySQL, whereby let's say I want to access a table, maybe the table na customer name table. So you can alias is something like as, in short, NA, meaning customer name. I mean, yeah, customer name. Like you just, now you just like abbreviation. Instead of you typing the full name, you just shorten them to something. So that's what aliasing means. Just say the right abbreviation of something. For example, if I have abbreviation like this, the abbreviation of abbreviation is something like something like this. So now what do we mean by aliasing something? Okay, let's see an example of what we are trying to say. So let's say I create a tweet called CLO. Inside that tweet, we have a method. Now I intentionally make it a private method. Even though if you remember well, I said you can't inherit, like you can't access a private method from a tweet. Also a protected. We realized it together here. It's private for that protected aspect. So if I come here now and create normal class and I say, okay, this class, I want you to inherit this tweet. So use say hello. Use say hello private. Okay. Now if I try to, let's say, create an object of this class, my class my my class. Then I want to, since my class has inherited, like is using this tweet, so let's say I want to access this private method, which I know it won't work. So my class inherit, what's the name of that method? Say, okay, say hello. Say hello. Now VS Code show me red line, so it's not possible, it can't work. Now there's a way to make it, like you can, the way you can make it work is for you to come back here and put public by force, like set them as public. Then it will work and say VS Code don't remove that red line. But let's say you no need to come here to do them. Now the next thing be that. So let's assume you don't even get right. Because some files, some PHP file if you get, so you don't get right permission. Like you can't come here, you can't come to that file and edit anything in that file. So you have to find a way to tweak it that to be possible inside that your other classes. Now the way we can get to do it is through this aliasing talk we mentioned here. So PHP trait supports aliasing. When you use a trait in a class, you can alias a trait method. Now this method is private. Now let's alias it so as we can get rid of this error that is coming here. So let's convert it to public. So how are we going to do that? What you just need to do is, it's actually simple. After you don't call this use say hello, that means you don't import that trait inside this my class. What you just need to do, create a curly bracket like this, create an alias. So call the name of that method. So say hello is the name of that method, abi. As alias is the way they use the as something, okay, just like wetin I been do here. So customer name as CN. So the CN might be the short form of the alias stuff. So say hello as, so don't rename the, as if we use a alias way to rename the method to something different. So as hello. So say hello as hello, but it doesn't just go, the as always work with something. So it will have to be as waiting, as what, which access modifier. So as public method. So that means this hello now with the old public method. I think I'm not supposed to visit this stuff. So say hello, which is the name of this method here. Now we call out here. On the nonce, we're importing this trait, say hello trait inside this our class. So that means now we can access that say hello method in this format. So curly brackets, we are calling that method say hello as public. So now the new name is now hello. So we want to access it here, we want to put it here. I'll just say remove this say hello and I'll just use hello. You can see that error don't come out. And I'll still get the same output here, this hello output. So if I come here, you can see hello came out. So that's what alias aspects means. So you can use it to like alias a method that is in a tweet using this as public format. Then put the new name. So if you put it to anything, even if it's Alex or whatever, that's what you use to access it here. But we know we can access private and also we can access protected functions that is in a tweet. Is there another more extra rules? If you use more tweets in the same, okay, seems more talks still dey concerning this tweet. Wahala. Only tweets alone. Now we don't write all this one, so no wonder na the last one. Okay, let's go on. If you use more, but I think it's interesting. Like I think it's understandable. Everything so far is something relatable, and at the end of the day, since we are even see time, we are still using the same 2 hours, even though na one concept, but it still go take almost like 2 hours. If you use more tweets, I even thought it's something I can do sharp sharp. Funny enough, I didn't even know it to be still long like this. If you use more tweets in the same class and a method with the same name exists in more than one tweet. um Now this one na another case scenario. Then you have a conflict. Nice. So PHP doesn't know which method to use, and you must explicitly solve the conflict. To do that, you must choose which method to keep by using the instead of keyword. Now what's this English saying? If you have more tweets, like 2 or more tweets in the same class, remember we don already do this kind of example whereby we create a class and that class gets two, e import 2 tweets. We don do am before. So if we have 2 or more tweets in the same class, and peradventure, let's say I have a class, we create a class. Let's use 2 tweets as example. Let's not say maybe 2 or more, like 3, 4. It can be more, but you just use 2 tweets as a case study. So we have one class, and that one class access like inherit like as use 2 tweets. So that use keyword. So it's use 2 tweets. And now inside that 2 tweets, get the same inside the 2 tweets, they get method wey dey there wey get the same name. So the question na come be say which one now the class go access? Na where the question is coming from, because e don cause conflict, because you don import 2 tweets and those 2 tweets dey come get the same method wey dey inside, and you wan make use of that particular method regardless. So now how I go take tell PHP say no worry, no use this other method, even though I know say na the same thing, no use this other one. How? So that I say to do that, you must use this keyword instead of keyword. That's how we can solve the wahala, to know which of them we wan really use. So let's practicalize it. Omo, I don't know, this topic because dey sweet me I know say this thing is too sweet. So okay, one example, hidden, wait, you can still access the hidden method by using the alias. Using alias is like this. So let's say we have a tweet like this, tweet say hello, but this say hello don suffer for my hand since na say hello I dey talk. So we have a tweet called say hello. Just give it, that's inside that tweet, that's a method called say. So let's just say this, what the say does print hello. Now we have another trait. This one is say goodbye. Inside that trait, you also get another method called the same say. Voila, don't come like that. Echo, let's say this one to say goodbye. Now we can create a normal class. We want to make use of traits. So my class, and this class now make use of these two traits. Say hello, say goodbye. This is supposed to be in capital letter. Say goodbye. Of all our trait classes must be in capital letter. So now we have a class making use of two traits. Okay. Now we have our class making use of two traits. If I come here now, let's create an object of this class. Obj new my class obj. So I want access the say method. Bam. Now we have a class, my class. I don't instantiate the my class object, and this my class it inherits, like it's making use of these two traits. That means it has access to this one. It also have access to this one. But now these two they have the same name. But you know what? Like, I can't come here, come write objs say. I can't call say. Now the question now come say which of the say will come out? Say na hello will come out. I mean na goodbye will come out. Because now while na conflict don't happen like this. I'm even surprised why UPS could not show me any kind of error conflict sign. But let me see if I will see any error here. I see error here. So fatal error, PHP method say goodbye. Say the same method has not been applied in my class. Blah 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 blah. Collision with say hello. You can see because of collision with say hello. So both of them they fight, they drag for who that they ask, who that they call. If you have two people they bear Alex, which of the Alex will respond to you? So I have to say Alex Black, Alex White for you to fit the okay now this Alex they talk about, not this other Alex. So now the issue they get now with that. So now how can we say okay now this one why they call, no be you are they call, because we know so we don't access both of them here. Now how can we do that? We can do that using the instead of keyword. So so let's say I want to use the same way me I dey call gangan na this one, no be this goodbye I dey call, na this one wey I want. I no want the goodbye own. How can I tell PHP that na this one wey I want? So I will come to this place, put curly bracket. So this one wey I want, the name of the trait is say hello. So I will say hello. Say hello, say. Like say hello, double quotation mark. I mean, yeah. Say, like say, as if I'm calling the class, then I'm accessing the method say. So this thing means okay, I'm accessing this one. So I'm accessing this one instead of the other one. So I'm going to write instead of the one where they say goodbye. So now I'm accessing the say that is coming from this say hello instead of the one where they say goodbye. Now the statement one right now, if I run this, now hello will come out for us. You can say hello. If you want to do them in the other way, probably you want to access this goodbye on say, I will say okay, I want to access the say goodbye instead of the say hello. So that means now goodbye will come out from this say. Let's check. You can say goodbye. I say PHP sweet. You dey whine. You whine. I say the organization of this PHP it just dey sweet me. Like if you want really compare am with like Node, just also just the code no like the structure. You say you go reason am say this na something wey dem really sit down do this thing well. I think that's a person be wan talk. PHP like OOP concepts, yes.
As okay.
And going forward though, all these OOPs wey we do, remember na my talk say na be like the main thing wey the rest of your lifetime codes go dey be like. So that's why you need to understand all those OOP concepts. Even the frameworks, the Symfony frameworks, the Laravel frameworks, all of them automatically na OOP dem dey use. So that's na the final bus stop wey you dey like this in terms of styles of coding with PHP.
So as you dey now, na OOP you dey use for work.
Me, yes now. No,
Okay. But say that's why you say that even if you start internship now, we no go know wetin we go do.
exactly. Yeah, and also sef, never really learn any framework too. So you still get other things wey you still need to learn. Join.
Okay, okay.
Um, so what else? There's something I wanted. Okay, so let's revert back to say hello. So let's say I want to make use of this say hello instead of the say goodbye. I even like the English, the name wey they give am, like that instead of. E dey very very relatable. And this instead of na together you dey write am, no space of say you dey write English of instead of like this. You can say error don come. So na keyword instead of. Why e come dey show? Why still dey show the red sign? Unexpected name. That's na VS Code error. I believe it's still working. Let me confirm if it's print out something. Yeah, it's pointing out something. Na VS Code, I mean, yeah, na VS Code dey misbehave. Let me just close it and open it back. It dey happen like that sometimes. Probably I don scatter e brain. So no more error. Good. So now we did it this way. Fine. We are accessing this say hello say, like the say of this say hello. That's what we're accessing. So no wahala. But there's still a way you can still access this one. Maybe aside, probably you even need both of them. So now let's say you need both of them. You don't access this first one. All well and good. You don't access this first one, but you still want this one too as well. Then how are you going to do it? And you want to do it without necessarily copying this code and coming here and be pasting it here. You don't want to do that method. You don't want to duplicate your code. So there's a way to go about it also. Let me break these things down like this. It's the same code, but I just put them for new line because of this new thing I want to talk about. So the way we can do it, we can just use the alias way again. So I can say, okay, so say goodbye. But I also want to use that say wey dey inside that say goodbye to it. So say goodbye, say. So the say function wey dey inside that say goodbye as I'm using alias scope now. So I'm changing the name to something else. So let me say goodbye. So I just change the name of the method now using alias to goodbye. It's already public, so no need of me putting as public here. It's already public. As being a private here now, I will come here put as public as just as we did that last time. But since it's already public, no need of putting the as public anymore. So as this, so that means I can come here in this my OBJ and I can access goodbye. And this goodbye will print for us goodbye. Just as this one will print for us hello. So now we don't find a way to free access both of them in a way. So one of them if we use alias for this other one, while this other one we use the instead of. Okay, I think we have one last, finally, the last part of trades and the last part of OOP conversations with you. Even myself, I even happy self, I don't tire self. Not to talk about this whole thing too much. But I like the fact of say e really don't brush my head up in many stuffs wey sometimes now like really dey focus on concepts. You know, when person don't you don't need to focus on add the main big part. So you go back to wetin be 1+1 wetin I say I don forget wetin be 1+1 because your mind don dey one square root ratio bracket, you know, those kind of thing. So na that place wey person mind don condition. So going back to this thing dey just say dey refresh your mind in certain basics. Okay, so one more last information about this tweet, then we can call it a day. It is better, like this, like a final note about when to use a tweet or how to use a tweet in a way. So it is better to keep tweets small and focused on a single set of functionality or functionalities rather. This makes it easier to use them in your classes. So na like advice, they advise us, and to maintain them. If you want to create a more complex set of functionality, you can create a tweet that uses other tweets. Okay, so let's see the final part of what the advice this person, this person, this statement is giving us. Okay, I wait. Hope this recording. Okay, good. Let me get rid of this example. So final example, final thing. I know they miss some. They say miss waiting. I beg, I won't come up from this class. Okay, let's see what that example is saying. Let me just read it again, sha. It is better to keep tweets small. That means, you know, all these examples they do, mind you, they use basic example. I just they put one method for there, put two. You know, sometimes you see if you want your method, you want with like 10, but just to say that 10 is too much in a way. Like even if there will be 10, that 10 has to tally to something. Let's say you want to create a tweet of car. That means the methods wey go dey the car go be method wey tally with the car. No be say you come dey carry method of motorcycle like okada dey put inside the method of the car. Like make everything just dey well structured so that even if peradventure you need vehicle, like what I'm saying now, let me explain better what I'm saying. Let's say your main goal, the tweet you want to create is for vehicle. Like your main goal is vehicle tweet that you want. That's the main goal. And you know what does vehicle entail? Vehicle na something wey dey move stuffs, right? And we have two things wey dey move stuff. Motor and motorcycle. Let me put it that way. We have two things wey dey move stuff. Motor and motorcycle. Motor, when I say motor, like car. Yes, like car, bus, whatever. And motorcycle, like you know, okada, even bicycle. We even have another one sef, probably even add more. Tricycle, keke. So, but all of them dey under vehicle tweet. And your main goal na you wan create vehicle tweet. So imagine say you create a tweet like vehicle tweet. You can't need to dey put all the methods wey concern car, like motor, all the methods wey concern. The tweet go dey unnecessarily too long. So there's a way to like make your thinking. This is about your thinking process they teach you about. So even if your goal na vehicle tweet you wan do, just break am down into bits. First create motor tweet first, come create motorcycle tweet, like break them down bit, put each of them their method wey they need inside. Then create tricycle tweet for tricycle. Then since you don't know, now you don't get 3 tweets. Inside these 3 tweets, come import all these 3 tweets inside the main vehicle tweet. Straight up. Remember, we don't talk say it's possible to import to inherit traits. So these three traits wey you create, you inherit all of them inside this vehicle trait. That means use, use motor traits, use motorcycle trait, use tricycle. Finish, you don import the three inside the single trait. No be you just come for the vehicle, come dey put everything. Here only vehicle trait come get like 20 methods. So as you don break down the methods, maybe some people like 5 wey dey there, some people like 5 wey dey. You go dey organize so that you go know where to find things easily. So na wetin dis English dey tell us here. Wow, omo, dey suppose give me BSc for teaching. I no go lie, dey suppose give me BSc for teaching. The way I dey break down dis concept, na wisdom, na gift. So let's see. So I want to, all dis thing wey we talk now, make we just practicalize am for here now. So let's say our goal that I want to create, our main trait wey dey our head na anything tools, like when I say tools, like tools. So when you talk about tools, example of tools can be hammer, and that one fit be screwdriver. So this is just a very, very simple example. So instead of me just creating a trait of tools, let me kukuma pinpoint the trait of screwdriver, then the trait of hammer, like create them separately, then merge them, put them inside the tools. You get the gist. So now, first one, I can just say, okay, traits specific to this one. I just write comments here, PHP comments, screwdriver. So I'll say traits screwdriver. So probably inside this screwdriver traits, let's say we have a method here, which means wetin screwdriver dey do is sabi screw. So we have one trait screwdriver. Then we have another trait for hammer. Let me just copy this one. Hammer. Wetin hammer dey do? Oh, abeg, hammer dey hammer. So na wetin e dey do there. Then my main goal, which is just like combination traits, which is my main goal, now I wan create a trait of tools. So I can just come here and just say, okay, use screwdriver, wey I don do down. No worry, use hammer too, wey I don do down. Shey na everything don simple. Like life don easy for everybody. So from this trait now, and any class can just come here. Okay, probably, okay, I'm a blacksmith, like that's my work. And since I'm a blacksmith, I need tools. So I will just make use of hammer. Probably I just decide, say, okay, I won't make use of only hammer. That means I'm only importing. I intentionally just want to import. Probably I already get screwdriver. So this blacksmith just won't buy hammer alone. So I'm using the hammer. So probably I get another class we come. And this class, probably na workshop. A workshop will surely get all the tools called na workshop. So this workshop need everything, need all tools to be present. So this one won't take tools. So that at least, because as I do only tools, as I do only tools now, imagine say blacksmith no need all the tools, because we only need only hammer. I go take access the hammer when for the all tools I don't put too much junks inside. So now just to make the thing simple in a way. So you can see different classes fit use like inherit traits. This one inherits the tools, and these tools get combination of screwdriver and hammer. This one just decide to take only the trait of hammer. So that's just basically what we've been saying so far. So trait seems easy to use, but don't use it in cases where interfaces or abstract class are best used. So I think this is the summary of everything we've been saying. For instance, interfaces are better when you want to share such information, and abstract class are better. Okay, this one are just like, and that just like advice about when to use what, when to like when to use either traits or interfaces or abstract classes. So this kind of thing, just Google, you just search ChatGPT, like, so I make you know when to use which of, because we don't do many OOP concepts. The question now when to use each of them. And I even know that you there here. Interesting. So when to use each of them. when
So I did not come out.
probably as she know dey see my screen since, so she just no bother. So
Okay.
when to make use of Tweet interface or abstracts in PHP OOP. So all these things, just write them for your notes. You might not get straight to the read all these things. So I just intentionally show them. So once you reach this place for the video, if you just pause some, jot down this thing. When to use interface, jot down this one. Then when to use abstracts, or you can also just Google it yourself. I mean, ChatGPT the thing yourself. A summary table of when to use what, which one better, which one not better, depending on the case scenarios. Funny enough, abstract can get more checks than the rest. And it's even better to use abstract more compared to these two. Then followed by interface get more checks. Then tweet and last. So that means anything will make you use tweets. That means your focus will be this code we use multiple inheritance, especially this one show me, especially when you involve multiple inheritance. Because on the norms, inheritance now only single inheritance. But if you know if you need something way, if you import two or more classes for a single class, surely just know say na tweet be your solution. Nothing else you fit do. So this one are key reason when to use tweet, multiple inheritance, shared default behavior. So that's everything so far. Congratulations, we have come to the ending of object-oriented programming in PHP. Congratulations. Any final question? Any final nay, say?
So we are done.
Yeah. So
Mm.